Through Master's Commission, I've had the privilege to go on 3 different missions trips, and I feel like God is calling me to missions in the United States. So to go on the 3 missions trips, at first I was a little apprehensive, but in each of the ones that I went to, God has just done some amazing things through me and just with me and in my heart and in my mind.
I have had the opportunity to go not only to Monterrey, Mexico, but also Antigua, Guatemala.
And this year when we went on our international mission trip, we went to the Dominican Republic.
I've gone on 2 mission trips with Ground Zero. The first one was to Guatemala, and in Guatemala it was more of a traveling type of ministry where we got to go to a bunch of different churches, a bunch of different schools, and do youth rallies for them.
I've been on 1 mission trip. We went to the Dominican Republic. We got to do street evangelism, hand out rice. We did a huge kids crusade, which was 2 days, 300 plus kids each day. We did 1 large rally at night where there was 450 people, and it was just absolutely amazing.
My first year at Ground Zero Masters, we went to Monterrey, Mexico, and we were involved with going to different schools and doing rallies in parks, and it was just really amazing how people from all over the community and different communities would just meet us like 5 minutes ago and be interested in who we were and what we were doing there. And it was we got to do a lot of dramas in parks and meet a lot of new people. God really moved in Monterrey.
And the fact that language, I didn't speak their language, they didn't speak mine, wasn't really an issue because there was still a connection there because they knew God and I knew God, and it was like already there was this connection. It was like we already knew a little bit about each other.
While I was in the Dominican, God just showed me the true power of prayer and faith. See, in the United States, sometimes we rely on ourselves so much. Like if we get sick, the first thing we do is get some medicine or go to the doctor. But in Dominican, I just learned how strong faith can be. When they get sick, they pray about it first, and that's truly how we should do it. God wants us to be in constant just contact and talking to Him, just praying about everything.
We got to walk like door to door and hand out rice to people and just pray for them if they had physical needs or if something was happening. And
we stayed in 1 community, which was different than in Monterrey, where we went all over to different towns and communities. And because of that, there was a very quick bond that we formed with the people there, and people would be calling out our names and be all around us asking us questions, and I got to develop relationships with a lot of the children there, and it was really amazing just how quickly they wanted to get to know me, and within 2 days they would be calling out to us and playing soccer and basketball, and it was really, really intense.
And we're getting ready to do sort of a rally thing. We're going to do 5 dramas. Our translator was going to preach a little bit. And I remember as we're setting up and stuff, there weren't that many people. It was mostly just the kids. And so I was a little bit disappointed because I really wanted people to be there to hear the message of the gospel. And as we began and we started doing it, I noticed all these adults started coming as well, and it kind of grabbed their attention with our dramas and stuff. And people were just walking and coming in. And it turns out what had happened was the electricity went out in the entire village except for this one little place where we had the generator, so we had the only light in the entire village. And so people just naturally came and watched what we had to say, and there was a response, and it was just a really awesome.
Something that God showed me in my life in this missions trip is that the people in the Dominican Republic, the people in America, they may come from different backgrounds and have different experiences, different cultures, but something that's the same with every person is that desire and that need to feel and experience God's love. They show me a lot about God's love, how it never changes. And also, if I trust in Him the way that people in the Dominican Republic do, I can experience true joy that will be able to get me through any circumstance that I'm facing.
Through the mission trip, God showed me 2 things. And the first was just that life is about relationships. It's not about the things we have and the things that we do. It's about the relationships with our friends, with our family, and most importantly, our relationship with God. And the second thing was, near the end of the trip, God showed me that I had been chasing after my own dreams rather than what God wanted for me.
Through missions, it's just God has opened up so many doors to me and just shown me so much about myself. Especially with this last missions trip, I mean, God moved in such many ways where we saw healings and we just saw kids come to Christ. And through missions, I think God has really strengthened my faith in Him and my belief, and just seeing different things that I wouldn't be able to see in the States. And He just showed me how mighty He really is, because I think sometimes we can miss just all the things God is able to do, but in missions, if you open yourself up, it's just He's able to do so much.
It was just an amazing experience. I know for me in my life, seeing the people there and how passionate they were about God, and how by the end of the week God had moved so much in their lives, especially through the different healings that went on. God became more real and more tangible to me. Just in a lot of things, we hear and we preach in churches how real God's power is and how He comes down and touches people's lives, and oftentimes we don't experience that for ourselves. And in the Dominican Republic, because of the work that God was already doing and that He allowed us to be a part of, I really felt His hand in a personal way. And I got to see a lot of things that I have never seen before. And to witness God move in people's lives, in little bitty children's lives, all the way to adults, and tears just broken before the Lord was amazing. For me, it was such a time for me to increase in my faith and just to grow more passionate in my relationship with Him.